This podcast is sponsored by our SA Rock and Metal Fans Facebook page.
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hey, hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, cool. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late, man. I was in a different meeting, man. Am I speaking to Guillermo?
Yeah, it's Guillermo. How you doing, man?
Oh, dude. I can't believe this is happening, man. This is like a bucket list moment for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I mean, oh, jeez. Okay, I'm not gonna go fan crazy on you, man. I swear. I'll just try and remain calm and breathe. How's that?
Go on, man. It's a pleasure, and that's okay. I just connected right now as well.
All
so,
right,
no,
cool,
no
man.
worries.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So,
Guillermo, I want to ask, but obviously we're going to talk quite a fair bit about the new album, Angelus Apatridida. Firstly, it's coming out the 5th of February on all digital platforms and wherever else, and I'll link everything in the description below. But why have you gone with the title Angelus Apatridida?
well, it's like every band got sometime in their history got a self-titled album, and we thought that due all that happened last year, and actually it was the 20th anniversary of the band playing together and all that stuff. And to be honest, we were not very creative with that, so we didn't know. No, I mean it was like a cool name because we know that our name is actually difficult to pronounce and of course very difficult to remember for non-Spanish people. So we decided that maybe it would be a good idea of making a self-titled album, and of course at the same time it's kind of a milestone right now, and it's the 7th one, and I think that we changed many things that made this one maybe the best album so far, and I think it's a perfect presentation for new people to know the band and to know our music. So yeah, why not?
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, it's, as you say, 7 albums, and the evolution of the sound of Angelus Apatridida, and not so much the direction, the style, but the sound has changed a fair bit over the 7 albums. And this album is like almost like the catalyst, the cherry on top of the cake of the career of Angelus Apatridida, because it is the 2 songs that I've heard. Obviously, the 2 singles that have been released have been Bleed the Crown and Indoctrinate, and those are absolute fucking amazing songs.
Thank you, man. Yeah, well, I wish you could hear the whole album because you're gonna be very,
can't wait, man. I'll tell you, I can't wait, man.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to hear it.
Yeah, there were many changes on the sound, but it's like, I mean, we try to keep on doing the exactly the same like we're doing it for the past 20 years. We're the same guys, and we have we still love what we do. So it's like there's no pretentious change on these things. But every band and every musician is have their own evolution. And we wanted to make just a few small changes, like for example, tuning a beat down with just half a step down in the guitars and the bass, and of course doing this album during the global pandemic just made this to sound a bit more angry and of course like faster and heavier even. So yeah, I mean, there was such an evolution during all these years, and we're always trying to improve ourselves and always trying to make the best we can do. And of course, in 2020 and even now in 2021, this is the best we can bring. This is the best we can do. And of course, I agree. This is our best album so far. So yeah, just wait to listen to the rest of the album because I think that these 2 singles are not the best ones. I really like them.
What? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think that Indoctrinate is one of my favorite songs because it's a very fast song, and it got all my all-time influences since the hardcore punk influences that I got since I was a kid, and the heavy metal vibes and the groove vibes and the old school thrash metal. But I think there are more interesting songs in the album, but it's just my opinion. So once it comes out and once you can listen to it, I would like to know your opinion about this. And
You know me, man. I'm all over Facebook, all over Angelus Apatrid at the moment. So you just keep an eye on my socials. I will definitely do that. But I have to say, Indoctrinate, there is something about that sort of like larks back to the golden era of thrash metal and the Bay Area, like Metallica, Testament, Anthrax, and all these old. It's terrible to say old bands, but all the old school. It's almost like an old school sound. You say that there was like heavy punk influences and everything like that. What sort of punk were you listening to?
Yeah, of course. It's more about like American punk or American hardcore. If you make a huge difference between the Bay Area thrash metal and the European thrash metal, I will always be more in the balance for the Bay Area. I mean, because they, in my opinion, they were also very influenced by the punk and hardcore scene, or the crossover scene. So it was one of my biggest influences as well since I was a kid. Like bands like, of course, Suicidal Tendencies, DRI, or of course, Anthrax is one of my favorite bands.
Wow. Okay.
So
I mean, that's you actually, sorry to interrupt you there, but you actually make a really good point, because the overall sound of those two tracks, it's how can I say it? This is so beautifully polished, and the balance is absolutely perfect. It's almost like you're going back to your roots.
Yeah, kind of, but with 20 years of experience.
No, funny you say that.
It's something that I would like to do, and because every time I listen to our previous album, of course, we were not very experienced, and we didn't have so many people around us to help us, especially with the money and with the sound. It's like we have to do everything by ourselves in a country like Spain with not much experience of thrash metal and that kind of music. So I would like to go back in the past and record again the first albums, for example. But I think it's something that we're trying to solve nowadays in the present day, especially with this album, like going back to the raw sound and something more organic and natural. Yeah. And I think that we did it with this new album, especially because we started working right now with Zeus, this new guy, the mixer and the producer of Hatebreed and Rob Zombie. I think this guy already understood the idea of going back to the roots in this way. And of course, as I told you, the whole album is composed during the pandemic, during the lockdown we suffered here in Spain, because Spain was hit very, very hard by the pandemic in the first months last year.
Yeah, so it's been absolutely crazy, and that's a great segue, because I wanted to ask you, what was the recording process for this album through the pandemic? Was it vastly different if there wasn't a pandemic? I mean, it sounds like a bit of a stupid question to ask, but I just want to get your thoughts on that.
No, it's not stupid at all, of course. No, actually, it was a normal one, because it happened in September, and during summer things were quite better. And of course, in September there was in Spain things were quite better as well. But we're a company, so we got contracts and stuff, so it's we can get together and go to the studio, and no problem at all with this. Right. But all the sensations, all the feelings, all we have, especially the first months, actually made us write very, very strong riffs, and of course very strong lyrics. Like there were difficult times, actually. Yeah. So I think this is the main reason why the album sounds that angry and fast and full of energy as well.
I was going to say the two songs, Bleed the Crown and Indoctrinate, are definitely very, very angry, and Indoctrinate I think is going to, in particular, has it pushed a lot of the people's buttons that aren't free thinkers. Particularly with the video. If nobody's seen the video, click on the link in the description below. That's where I'll put it, and watch the video and make up your own minds. The reason why I'm asking that is because there's a lot of stuff in there that you wouldn't see normally in heavy metal videos. Gay couples and things like that. It's going to turn a lot of heads and probably piss a lot of people off, which is ridiculous in my view. But anyway, be that as it may.
Yeah, and this is why exactly we did it. You know, we're living really strange times, and somehow I feel that the people is losing the real feeling of heavy metal. I mean, when I was a kid and I started listening to heavy metal music, I understood that heavy metal music was for rebel people, for it was some music for unity and for complete tolerance. You know. So there was no place here for racism. There was no place for homophobia and all that shitty stuff. So lately, during the last years and especially the last months, we were just watching how people were getting really, really extreme with this situation. Like more and more people talking about racism and acting like this, and it was like, wow, we should do something with this. I mean, it's like. It's difficult to explain, but our music was always made for doing so. Criticizing the system and about social issues, and of course try to fight against intolerance and to fight against intolerant people. Actually.
Yeah.
So this is why we decided to do this with the Indoctrinate, because Indoctrinate music and lyrics was composed during the hardest months of the last year, where I was just watching the news and just realizing people was getting really, really crazy. And I would never support racism, of course. I would never support
absolutely,
or
100%.
other kind of bigotry or other kind of intolerance. So even ourselves, we were, let's say, suffering some kind of intolerance on our social media because we were just defending the human rights. We're always defending human rights, and there were people attacking us saying that we were black lovers. It's like, yes, why not? I mean, we love everybody here.
We human lovers, are we not? You know.
Of course, exactly. That's the main reason, and of course we were attacked by people saying that we were gay lovers. It's like, of course, yes, they're human beings.
How can people be so blind and stupid?
Yeah, so this is why I decided to do something like this, and we understood that we will start to piss a lot of people off. But at the same time, I think there's a cool message for saying, like, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter where you were born, it doesn't matter who you love, it doesn't matter who you pray, it doesn't matter the color of the skin. Everybody's exactly the same. And heavy metal talks about brotherhood, heavy metal talks about unity, and heavy metal talks about tolerance. So all this racism, all this homophobia, all this acts of bigotry are completely out of heavy metal. This is our point of view.
Absolutely, 100% correct, sir. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I know you follow Sacred Reich, and they are very vocal about that.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually reading some statements they were doing during the last days, and I think it's more bands should do something like this. It's like, there's no place for these things nowadays, and artists and musicians, if they don't agree with racism, if they don't agree with xenophobia or homophobia, they should do this, because it's very important so people understand that, you know, everybody is exactly the same, and we're living in the 21st century. And I thought all these things will be completely forgotten for decades, but they're back. They're back again. And honestly,
it's like we've taken a step back in time, and it's just
exactly.
Yeah. It's mad. The world has gone mad, but I mean, you know, it does bring out the nut jobs and the idiots and the morons that can't think for themselves.
Yeah, of course, I can understand that people get very angry on politicians and on your own politicians, on your country, on your government, because of course they are the ones who're supposed to rule. To run
people,
serve the people, exactly. But I don't understand why you have to blame immigrants, or why you have to blame the people for the different color scheme, or because they love men or women. I don't get it. And especially in heavy metal, or metal god, the most important singer in heavy metal is Rob Halford. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Halford is gay. And there's no problem at all with that. So it's like, it's ridiculous, kind of ridiculous that we have to fight with this again. But
that's
like
crazy. But let's lift the conversation up, and let's talk about Angelus Apatrida's beer. And I love beer. No, how did that come about? I mean, that's so unfair. I want to be in a band just to get free beer.
Well, actually, okay, we don't get it completely free, but no, it's. I mean, we are beer lovers, of course, and we already got a craft beer, official beer, many years ago. Since we started, all this craft beer world started like 10 years ago, something like that. We were into the beer world, and this is our third or fourth. I think it's the fourth official beer we got.
Wow.
This new one, and it's perfect because it's working with local people, local breweries. They are amazing. They make amazing beer as well. And of course, I always will recommend people to support your local scene in all their situations, like local bands, local bars, of course, local record stores, and your local breweries.
Absolutely. Support
It's
local.
quite good.
Absolutely.
I hope that they can grow a bit more and they can start shipping outside Spain, so everybody can taste this amazing new beer.
Oh, every time I see the pictures that you post up on Facebook and Instagram, I'm like, oh, look at that nice ice cold beer.
I'm not, are you a craft beer lover?
I'm a beer lover, man. My heritage is Viking and Belgium, and Belgium have the most amazing beers on earth. So I've got the best of both worlds.
Wow, then it's. I hope in the future we can start shipping outside Spain and maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what's even better. How about Angelus Apatria come over to South Africa for a tour?
That would be.
Because we've talked about this on Facebook already before.
Yeah. I remember that you was just like tagging someone. Hey, maybe it was like a promoter or something like.
It was, yeah.
We should bring this guy back to here down to South Africa. Of course, man, we will fucking love this. We already played. We played in Africa, but in the North Africa we played in Morocco.
Right.
But I would love to go to South Africa.
Yeah, well, look, I knew nothing about Angelus Apatrida until I think it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and a good mate of mine, Norman Booth, he said, "Have you heard of Angelus Apatrida?" And I was like, "What is that?" And he goes, "It's the best thrash metal that you will have heard since Metallica, the old Bay Area old school metal, and like Testament." Because we were talking about Testament, Sacred Reich, and all these bands. He said, "You've got to listen to this," and man, that was it. So a shout out to Norman for introducing me to you guys, and dude, I just love your fucking band. It's so good.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. I mean, that knowing that your music is traveling so far, it's amazing. And of course, we can't wait for someone to book us and go and play there.
I've got a couple of friends who are promoters, and I'm gonna hound them, man. I'm gonna tag them in this on my Facebook post and say, you guys need to seriously take another look, listen to this new shit that they've put out. It is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
They've got to come out.
You know what? Like when all this shit it's over, all the pandemic is over, and we can start traveling again and all that stuff. It's like it's quite easy. We can book like 3-4 shows, like doing like a DIY tour in South Africa and talk about the flights and visas and all that stuff, and just do it. That's the way we do sometimes. The first time we played in Asia was like the first time we played in Japan, for example, was like there was a complete DIY tour in Japan, and it completely worked. I mean, so let's do it.
Well, I mean, hell's bells, let's do this. And the segue into that was basically so you can bring some beer over.
Okay, we will try to
bring a bottle or two if you can, or something.
Absolutely.
Guillermo, I want to find out. We touched on it a little bit earlier about your influences, and I know time is running out, so we need to sort of get a move on now. And so I want to find out what do you wake up in the morning? Do you slap headphones on and you listen to music and you get inspired by a riff? So what influences you and your inspiration to write music?
Well, my all-time influence is Iron Maiden. Is my favorite band ever. This is the first music I heard when I was a kid. I was 8 years old, and I was watching the video of Life After Death. So when I was a kid,
Great.
yeah, that was the first thing I heard and watched it. And this is what and my thoughts were like, I want to do this in my life. I want to be like these guys. So that was the main reason I started listening to rock music and heavy metal music. And right after Iron Maiden, I started to know and discover tons of different bands. Since the beginning, I was listening to Metallica, of course, Megadeth, Sepultura, Pantera, Creator, of course, Spanish bands as well. And well, nowadays, during all this more than 30 years, that I'm listening to heavy metal music, I got a lot of influences. As I told you before in the beginning, hardcore music and punk rock as well is one of my biggest influences. Death metal, classic death metal, of course. Nowadays, I try to put all of this together to make our own music. And actually, I would say that even my own band is my own influence as well, because it's the thrash metal is not my favorite kind of music, but it's one of my favorites. But Angelus Apatrida's music is one of my favorites. So it's like it's very difficult to explain, but it's like composing for your best band. So it's like I always try to compose and write the music for the band of my dreams. And this is Angelus Apatrida. That's why I always try to improve a lot and make the best I can. At home, for example, I listen to very, very different kinds of music, even music outside of heavy metal, even not rock music.
Yeah, but you got to listen to various things to get inspiration and ideas, because that's how music works.
Yeah, exactly. And as a musician, you get a lot of experience from
absolutely,
and knowledge, and a lot of knowledge from if you listen to other music sometimes.
So what happened one day when you woke up and you picked up a guitar? Was it like, there's a guitar, I want to do it, I want to go for it?
I think that the first time I got a guitar when I was a kid, I'm not sure, but the most it could be maybe Deep Purple or the typical songs that you're listening. You're trying to learn with the guitar. Maybe it was Paranoid or Black Sabbath.
Right, the good old staple heavy metal.
Yeah, and I remember my brother was teaching me to play guitar, and in order to learn all the chords, I was learning so many songs from Nirvana as well. Nirvana is one of the bands I was listening to a lot when I was a kid. So yeah, because there is a lot of shit when you are trying to learn how to play guitar. And I really like to play some Nirvana songs because it was kind of complicated to change the chords. But once I started to play a bit faster, of course, I started to play Iron Maiden riffs and Pantera riffs and Sepultura riffs.
Nice.
So, yeah, and this is I still play that. I mean, when I'm bored sometimes, and I take whether the electric guitar or the acoustic guitar, I just play songs like this. I still play songs that I was playing when I was a kid because I like to remember it. And sometimes that I'm teaching my girlfriend to play guitar as well, I try to teach her the same sounds that I was learning when I was a kid.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right? No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, of course. You cannot start with I don't know, Cannibal Corpse. So there is a beginning, but of course it's not needed to start with the Beatles. If you don't like Beatles, you can start with other things.
So when did the singing come into play then for you?
The singing, it was actually we were searching for a singer because we formerly we got another singer, and I was just playing guitar, and the guy just left the band, and we were searching for the singer, and officially we're still searching for the singer. I was just covering the just doing the backup because I was good just singing some cover songs. So I'm singing in this. I don't like to sing at all, and actually I'm a complete shy guy. And every time I have to go on a show, I feel very ashamed behind in the front row and in the center of the stage. But it happened like in 2002 or something like that. And to be honest, I never liked to sing, and I still don't like to sing that.
Whoa,
Someone has to do this. Yeah, yeah. No, no, really, really. It happened like this. It's exactly the same with the name of the band. I never liked the name of the band. I never liked it, Angelus Apatria. But you know, it's like the years were passing. And it's like, well, okay, but there's nothing better. So yeah, I'm still singing because there was nobody better. We never find a new singer, but yeah, officially we're still searching for a singer.
Well, hell no. No. You will do just perfectly fine, and you're fucking good, mate. Let me just tell you that right now.
Next time we're gonna hook an American or a British or a South African singer, so there will be no more. There will be no more drama with the language and with the lyrics, because it's a hell every time I have to write, man.
Is it difficult though? Is it? It must be. I guess because English is not your native language, so
Of course.
it must be difficult then.
Yeah. For me, it's a hell. I mean, and Spanish culture is not very good with other languages. I mean, it's. I started learning English when I was a kid, but because of video games and listening to music, so I don't have academic
Right.
studies in English, and I completely regret this because it's very hard for me. Actually, having this conversation is very, very hard for me. It's like a pain in my brain.
I wouldn't have been known, but because you're acing it,
yes.
man.
and you can imagine every time I want to write things that my girlfriend, she for example, she studied English and she is very, very good in English, and she helps me a lot. And of course, I'm always checking with American and British friends. For example, David from Havoc, he's always helping me a lot with lyrics. And I got another friend in Phoenix, in Arizona. He's as well helping me a lot with the lyrics. So every time I try to improve, but yeah, really, it's very difficult to find the rhythm, find the rhyme, and of course making sense and not sounding like an asshole, because it could sound cool for an Spanish or for an European person to listen to my lyrics, but of course maybe a native English speaking person can think that I'm completely an asshole. So that's why I'm always trying to. I send all the lyrics always to David from Havoc, and it's like, yeah, please be completely clear with this and let me know if it's okay. And he's always like, yes, you can change this, and now it's like a perfect American. That's like,
wow.
Cool.
That is
yeah,
so
but
cool.
It's very, very hard work for me.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I was a teacher, I'd give you an A+, man. That you're nailing it, man. So let's talk about your very briefly now about your endorsements. Is it Jackson guitars?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
how did that come about? And what was it like the first day when they approached you and said we're going to endorse you?
Yeah, and imagine, because since I was a kid, all my guitar heroes were people like Andreas Kisser, Dave Mustaine, and actually Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden. He was wearing a Randy Rhoads Jackson. So since I was a kid, my first guitar was a Randy Rhoads Jackson. And in 2010, when we started to be an international band, it started with Fender Spain. I mean, with Jackson in Spain, they were searching for a Spanish band for promoting and for endorsement. So we were in the right moment, in the right place, and that's how it started. Then we were working with them for 5 or 6 years, but then Fender Spain just disappeared. But we keep working with Fender Europe, with Jackson Europe. And we're still in a very good relationship with them, of course. It's like, they are my favorite.
Geez, that must be such a weird thing. Like, I mean, weird as in amazing that they just, not give endorsements, but they're obviously giving it to acts that are well deserved, and you guys certainly are. But it must be such an amazing feeling to pick up a brand new Jackson.
Yeah, of course. It's not a matter of getting free guitars and all that stuff. No way. It has nothing to do with. But getting the recognition of that kind of fans, they were there when heavy metal was invented. It's the brand who was endorsing Randy Rhoads in the 70s and the 80s. So it's like kind of a dream come true, and it's very important that kind of people trust you and it's like wow. So we're really happy. Of course, we also got some endorsement with Mapex drums and Savian cymbals as well, and the Dario string and accessories. And of course, there is no like big deal with them, but we got some kind of endorsement with EV8 amplifiers. Yeah, they sound amazing as well. So yeah, I mean, in that way, we're really happy working with all of them and just keeping fingers crossed to keep the deals with them.
Absolutely. Well, with this album, if it sounds, if you say that Bleed the Crown and Indoctrinate are not the best songs on the album, goddamn, I cannot wait to hear the rest of the album.
In my opinion, I mean,
in your opinion,
I know Bleed the Crown is it's a very classic, let's say classic Angelus song, with the kind of catchy vocals and stuff. And as I told you, Indoctrinate is one of my favorites as well. But I think that you will really love the next single we're gonna release in a few days. I'm not gonna say which one is, but I think you will like it. And there will be other songs that you will like as well. I think much more than this one. So when the album will be available, just let us know. Just you can write me and say, yeah, you were right, or no, you were wrong. Both these are the best.
I'll tag you. I'll tag you in Facebook, man. I'll make sure I'll tag you guys. Yeah.
Just let me know, man.
I will do. I just want to have a very quick shout out to Marta, your PR lady, for handling all my emails and all my questions and everything. And she's an absolute gem of a person to have your back. So Marta, thank you very much. And Guillermo, I just want to thank you so much for responding to me on Facebook. First off, and that was such a surprise, and it doesn't happen every day. And I've approached other bands that are AAA, titled bands, and I've gotten absolutely nothing back. So to get something from one of the bands that I absolutely love has made my day, has made my year, and we're only in January. So Guillermo, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat to me.
Thanks to you. Thank you.
The album is just, oh man, I just cannot wait to hear the album, man. It's gonna be a face melter. I know it, man. And it's out on the 5th of February on all digital platforms, and I'll put all the links in the description below on my YouTube channel so everybody can click, like, love, share, and do whatever it is that they need to do. So we're obviously out of time now, and once again, thank you so much. Be safe, and hopefully one day a tour and an Angelus Apatridda beer.
Yeah, of course, man. No, thanks to you. Thanks for your time, and anytime. Just the best of the luck, and stay safe. And yeah, let's work for this South African tour. Happen sooner than later, okay?
Absolutely. Keep well, Guillermo. Okay. Thanks very much, man.
Thanks to you. Have a nice day.
Cheers, man. Bye.
Bye.